Hi, fellow traders. Man, what a crazy last 4 weeks, huh? Really, really slow. Abnormally slow. Even with the lack of companies reporting earnings and stuff, it's just been incredibly slow. And I think it has to do a lot with all of the geopolitical stuff going on, whether it be overseas, whether it be here on the mainland. And it's kind of affecting all of the market participants. A lot of them are just sitting on the sides waiting to see what's going to happen. They're holding their breath. Some are just, their moves are just calculated. I mean, something is crazy because something had to spark these brokers to give up their commissions. The commissions is kind of what helps them absorb some of the risk that they take by being a broker. And by giving that up, they're going to get it. They got to get it somewhere else. They have to offset some of the risk that they incur. But all of them going to zero, that tells me that they're trying to get people active in the market again. That we're not getting the participants. We're not getting the activity. And I'm thinking they're trying to jumpstart that. I mean, that's my opinion. You don't know unless you're on the inside, and obviously I'm not on the inside. But I'm just thankful that earnings is about to kick off, and we should have more stocks than we can deal with, and that's always a good problem. All right, so here's what I want to share with you going into this weekend. You are only effective when you are your authentic self. Never compromise for an opportunity. I never compromise. I never have, and I don't plan on doing that in the future. And I know you're saying, well, Ed, I know this has a lot to do with life, but what the hell does it have to do with trading? It has a lot to do with trading because you're only effective as a trader when you're doing your thing. When you're trying to copy somebody, or you're trying to imitate somebody, or you're trying to follow somebody in and out of trades, you're not very effective. And you'll never be effective. You'll never be consistent. So that's why the focus on me is to teach you how to be self-sufficient and to help you identify who you are as a trader. I think that's very critical, and that's one of the important concepts and the that we cover in the one-on-one mentoring is to help you turn into the trader that you need to be. I know I teach my strategies, but as part of that, I'm teaching you patience and discipline and how to execute in different scenarios. That's why streaming live every day is important. That's why streaming live this every time I make a mistake and how I have to correct it. All of these things are important. And just listening to me talk about it does no good. You being able to experience it and see it and hear, sometimes I may say some stupid stuff, but that's just a process. That's me going through it. And I'm being my authentic self. I'm being who I am. I'm not trying to change who I am just because I'm live and I'm broadcasting live. That's not what you want. You don't want somebody being something they're not. And I believe most people can pick up on that. It doesn't take long for people to realize whether you are who you say you are. So, but it's really important in trading that you develop into your own authentic trading self. That's when you're going to be effective, and that's when you're really going to start putting some money in the bank. Now, never compromise for an opportunity. Don't compromise your rules for just because it's slow or just because your strategy didn't work that morning. Don't compromise what you do and who you are to chase some opportunity that somebody else may be telling you about. don't do it. It may be good that time, and it may be good the second time. But the third time and the fourth time and the fifth time will take you to the cleaners. So never compromise. Stay true to yourself. Okay? And don't compromise. I mean, I've had, and taking it a little bit further than trading, I've had people come to me wanting to blow me up. They want to do this type of marketing and this type, and you should have thousands of people in your room because nobody out there is doing it just like you. But if I had 1,000 people in my community, there's no way I could be who I am. There's no way I could give people the individual attention that I feel they need during this time in their trading career. So, no, I'm not compromising. Because here, what if one day the SEC comes up and says, hey, these are illegal. You can't do this anymore. All right. Some of these guys are going to be in real bad trouble because they can't trade their way out of a cardboard box. They'll fold up like an envelope and get mailed to the North Pole. But that's not the life for me. So, and I want you guys to be able to, hey, if you're going to go, let's say you're going to go spend a couple weeks in the Maldives. Why would you want to worry about logging into a chat room and trying to figure out what everybody else is watching and get direction on this? By then, you want to be independent. The only time you come in a chat room is say, hey, guess where I am right now? So, you guys, I really and truly want you guys to become your own authentic trader. Be your authentic self. And don't compromise who you are looking for opportunities throughout the day. It will be detrimental to your trading overall. Okay, so don't do it. Follow me. I never compromise. All right, so today, I was really, really off today. I missed some good opportunities. So those of you that were in chat this morning, you heard me. I practically talked myself out of nailing this trade. And then it pulled back and I still didn't get in. And, it's frustrating sometimes. And sometimes I deal with that. And this is why I try to tell you guys, you got to be mechanical. Once you get your watch list, once you establish the fact that these stocks are tradable, damn it, when it sets up, take the trade. And stop bitching about it. And I kind of let yesterday eat away at me a little bit because the trade yesterday didn't work out. And that's just the way it is. No matter how good the setup looks, that doesn't mean it's going to work out. The market has its own agenda. And we just have to work around that agenda. So I just kind of talked myself out of this and kind of messed it up. So I waited until we got a secondary trade. My secondary trade, it's either reversal or trend continuation. So I was looking for a trend continuation. But a lot of times you get a flag, a bull flag or bear flag or a pennant or triangle to set up. You'll get some type of technical chart setup that'll go along with what you're doing. And I always like that because it allows me to illustrate this a whole lot better. I don't need to see the flag. For me, when it bounces, I'm looking for this next candle to make a new high and I'm getting in. But this flag kind of gives you an indication of where you can place your profit targets if you don't have anything above. Here's the 52-week high right here. So above this, there's no resistance if you're looking at a 1-year chart. So I'm using this flag because what you do is you take the flagpole and put it here, and then that's what you look at. The length is a potential target. That's pretty much what I was looking for. Really wanted to get up here and test the high, but we just couldn't do it. We were struggling. And so I dropped it a couple of cents so I could take profit here. And I was waiting for it to break this and get to 36.75 for my next target. We did make a new high here by about 6 or 7 cents, but there was just no push. And you can see we just couldn't get the volume. We could not get the volume. And then some selling volume came in, and I'm like, okay, well, it'll sell it. We're still holding the 9. We're holding the 20. We're holding above the 52-week high. But it just could not, it just couldn't do it. And so I ended up taking it off. It just looked weak. I know it tried to bounce here, but we never could get back up over the highs. We just couldn't do it. So only $106.09 today. And just to let you know, we are trading with half the size of the account I normally trade with. Normally I start the month with $5,000. These next 3 months I'm doing 2,500. We're trading smaller sizes so that more of you can really connect to what I'm doing. It's just like if I'm sitting here with my small account and I'm trying to follow somebody that's trading 10,000 shares, 20,000 shares. I can't connect to that. That makes absolutely no sense to me. So when I'm teaching, I want you guys to see exactly how you manage your risk with an account this small, how much room you have to give things, the smart way to trade. I'm trying to teach you guys the ABCs of trading. And with the ABCs of trading, once you get that down, you could go anywhere and trade any strategy and be successful with it because you'll have the foundation and you know and understand how the market moves. You understand how to read price action. You understand how to manage your risk. All of these things are just second nature to you. And you just come in and go to work every day and make it happen. That's what it's all about. So let's take a look at, oh yeah, I put this in there, I forgot. But you can see, here's where we just kept running into resistance. We once, twice, 3 times. Almost a triple top. Once it does that, you can pretty much bet that it's not going anywhere. So once it lost support, that just pretty much sealed the deal for me. So I forgot, I wanted to point that out as well. How we kind of triple topped here. If we just couldn't push it, no need to hold on and pray. It just doesn't work in trading. So YNDX, this is the one that I kind of wrote this off early because we didn't have that big of, windows here. And this was on short sale restriction. And a lot of times when the stock sells off hard and it's on short sale restriction and it is oversold, meaning the RSI is like under 20, for me it's under 20, you're not going to get this type move. You're just not going to get it. And I made the executive decision to not look at this and focus on FAST, which I still didn't trade. Like I said, I still screwed myself out of that trade. But if I saw this again tomorrow, I would do the same thing. On Monday, I would make the same judgment. We all know how stocks on short sale restriction trade, especially if it's oversold, how hard it is to get something to continue to move down. But we do see this once every blue moon, but I did not anticipate this today. Not at all. But I was looking to try and catch this on a reversal or a bounce. But it just never really gave a clean, clear setup. Until we got over here, we got some trend continuation. But you can see we still were dealing with levels that were really close that could have prevented us from making money. But this was a nice trade. We had several people in the room take this. Putting a couple, trading it 500 shares and taking half off at 50 cents. Really, really nice profit target here. Same thing here, taking some more off here. It was a really nice setup, trading with a little bit of size here. But I told you why I kind of wrote that one off. Now yesterday, Roku came out after the close. You see this huge candle here. News came out that it had an analyst upgrade with a price target of 155. A buy, upgraded to a buy, price target 155, or reiterated, and the target raised to 155. And I was like, man, Roku, when it gets news like this, goes absolutely nuts. So I waited to see if we were going to get a pullback here, but we opened, pulled back a little bit, did not take the low out of this candle, and as we were showing strength, I went ahead and bought it. So you guys that were in chat, I don't know how many of you guys were hanging around. There were several that were still logged in. I don't know if you were paying attention, but I posted it in chat. I was buying this, and I was looking for this thing to potentially get to 124, 125 aftermarket. I would have taken some profit there. But if not, we were going to hold it overnight, looking for a gap up and potentially 147. And I'm going to show you the daily chart here in a second. But here's what happened today. Here's where I got in yesterday. DOS doesn't save things from one day to the next. But this is where I got in yesterday. And I emailed this out, and I think I tweeted it out too, but I emailed it to all the members and tweeted it out for those that may not have seen the email to let you know what was going on here. And it did have potential today, for a day trade as well. So this is where I got in yesterday after the close. And initially, I set my stop at 120. And as it started selling off, I looked at the chart and I'm like, no, that's stupid. 120 is right around the 200. More than likely, it's going to test the 200 and bounce. So those of you that were listening in chat, you heard me give you my rationale then as to why I was removing it from 120 and dropping it down below the 200. And that's what I did. And sure enough, it bounced off the 200 and came screaming back up. But you can see we had lower highs. Here we had a higher low. We were just tracking the 200 up. Is basically what we were doing. But still making lower lows, higher lows, lower highs. Higher lows, lower highs. So it was just tightening up. The price action was tightening up. It was going to break one way or the other. But so we broke, finally made a lower low. But we had the 200 here. So as long as the 200 was here and we were kind of tracking it, I wasn't going to take it off. Just let it run until the end of the day. But I don't have faith in this to hold it over the weekend. So that's why I said no matter what, I was killing everything at the close of the day. And that's what we did. Sucked because up here, I was probably up over $2,000 this morning. But unfortunately, it didn't work. It's just one of those trades that just didn't work out. Thankfully, we did make money on almost $1,400, but I'm bummed that it didn't make the move I wanted to make. NKE, this is the swing trade that I talked to you guys about earlier in the week, but we'll go over this in detail on Sunday in the Sunday morning session. But the executions are on the website and on the swing under the swing trade tab, so you can check it out there. But we'll cover that in detail. So here's the daily chart on Roku, and this is what I was looking for. Okay, yesterday we had this kind of a messed up day, but then we gapped up at the close on that announcement. I felt that we could get up to this, at least get up to this level today. And had I been able to get up here and take profit, I probably would have held a third of this position. I would have taken 2/3 off here and probably held a third over the weekend to see if we even get another gap up. But it didn't even get here. I mean, it sold off all day. It was practically weak. You can see we opened here and did not even make a push up. We opened and it practically sold off all day. So that was not a recipe for me leaving this on over the weekend anyway. But it is what it is. I'm happy to make a couple of bucks out of it. I was licking my chops, man. I thought this thing was going to 140. I really did. I thought not a whole lot of things moving. It's Friday. We may get some excitement here, and this thing gets driven all the way up, but it just didn't happen. Got the gap up, but no follow through. So here's the last 2 weeks. Now you saw the last 2 weeks in September really slow. These first 2 weeks, I didn't start until Thursday. All right. And got in. Thursday was a good day. Friday was a bad day. Only ended the week $69. But I was like, since I started on the 3rd, I might as well just run all of this together and just do the recap, this weekend. And then realize this week was going to be even slower. So Monday we started out pretty good. Tuesday, no go. Wednesday was a flush. I think I traded Roku then and lost on the first trade. Kind of got back even. Commissions is what killed me, was where this negative came from. Thursday, we didn't do well on Thursday. Couldn't get out the hole. On the opening range trade, didn't work. And then today, I was slow out of the gates. Missed the opening range trade. 2 of them really nice follow through. Would have paid beautifully. But unfortunately, I did not have what it took to get in it. But I'm really glad you guys are learning. You guys aren't paying attention to me. You're doing it. And you're not waiting for me to act. Because if you have waited for me to act today, you'd still be waiting. So far, really, really slow, but 550 for this month. These last 3 weeks of this month should be really big. I'm just going to trade. And remember, we're trading with smaller size, so these numbers are already going to look a little bit smaller. But compared to what we've done the last 4 weeks, next week things should take off and be really, really strong. So that's what I'm expecting. But again, I'm not going to force anything. I'm just going to let the market come to me. And here's the equity curve. You can see this is a prolonged slowdown. Last 4 weeks. 1, 2, 3. Last 4 weeks. 5. It's just, it hasn't been good. And I'm not the only one that's feeling it. So it's just a really piss poor market. And you can see what we've had to deal with for the last 2 weeks. Here's the first week in October. I think Tuesday was the first. Very few. I think we traded BBBY, and PEP. We did trade these two. I think I lost on this one. But just nothing. And yeah, Stitch Fix, but I didn't trade it. That didn't really set up. I don't believe I traded it. And then look, this was this week. I mean, nothing. Nothing. But wait till you see the calendar for next week. It may be slow Monday and Tuesday, but wait till you see Wednesday. Things are going to take off. All right, guys. So that does it for me. I hope you guys have a safe weekend. I'll be back on Sunday morning for you guys that come for our market analysis. Watch me build my swing trade. And, you know, I'm there to answer any questions you got about anything. You know, once we go through what we got to go through, it's open forum. So if you guys haven't been coming, make sure you come and check it out. I didn't get to record it last week because I was in North Carolina and I left half my equipment in South Carolina, but I'm home this weekend and I'll make sure we get it recorded and uploaded. So if you miss it, you guys can go through it then. So be safe. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you either Sunday or Monday.